Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Theodore Campbell once again, and I have another video for you guys. This is a special one for me because this company was, or should I say this bus was made especially for me. It was custom made. This is the actual bus you see is a Vanhool T945, but that's only because that's the only bus that we were able to find to model the bus after. But the actual company in real life was from the early 90s out of Staten Island, New York. As you see, the name of the company was Mr. Bill's Transit. Uh, very small vendor. This was a very small company. I think as far as full-size coaches, I think the largest they got was maybe 10 or 15. It was a really small mama and papa company. But the reason it has a special spot in my heart is because I don't know if you guys know, I am a second generation bus driver. This is a company that my dad worked for in his long bus career. My dad worked 40 years in the bus business plus, and he has worked from many bus companies. I mean, from Trailways to Mama and Papas and all that. So my dad was pretty much a rolling stone, I guess you would say, in the bus business. And this is one of the companies that stood out to me the most from my childhood. Not necessar- not necessarily that it was a nice company or that everything was perfect, because they had their challenges, but it was always this paint scheme. I don't know why this paint scheme used to always jump out at me so much. To give you a little history on how this paint scheme came along, I can't be wrong, but I heard a rumor that this was actually a demo paint scheme that they used on a Vanhool demonstrator, and the owner of Mr. Bill's Transit actually saw the paint scheme, and he actually asked if he can use that as his livery for his bus company. And for a lot of you guys who's in the bus business, you know, that happens at time to time, and vendors will allow different companies to use the ideas that come from the demos as a livery for their bus company, especially if you're a small bus company and you don't already have an identity. Sometimes they can help you come up with different ideas. So I think that's how it came out. And if I remember right, because we're going back to the early 90s and I was a child, the whole fleet wasn't this color. I believe there was about 3 or 4 of them that were all black, and pretty much everywhere you see this white was pretty much white as well. It was a black and white bus. So there was more buses that, I think it was 4 or 5 of them that were this color, this red and silver at the bottom with the stripe. My dad drove the red one. That's why it always stuck out to me. But later on, as they gone on, Mr. Bill bought some white ones, and there was some white ones where they had the white stripes were black because the bus was all white with black stripes, and the words was in black. He probably did that to save money because he was just trying to buy some new buses and get them on the road real quick. So they probably didn't have time to paint them. So they just bought some plain white Vanhools and threw the black decals on there. So again, that was a real brief history on Mr. Bill's Transit. They are not in business now. They actually wasn't in business that long. I would say no more than 10 years if I can guess. Probably not even that. But like I said, they always stuck out to me because my dad worked for them, and I rode in these buses many times. The owner was so cool. He didn't mind my dad bringing me to work. And for all you Vanhool fans, you know, on the Vanhool, we got the jump seat, but it doesn't have it on this bus. But the jump seat right there, that was my seat as a child. That's where I sat. And I've been on many road trips with my dad. So now that I done got into the history of the actual company, you can know why this paint scheme is here, let me get into the history of this actual bus. As you see, this bus is a lot bigger than most of the buses that I post. This is actually modeled after a 1/32 scale. Very big, very, very big. Now, if I would, I'm give you a 187 bus to show you the size difference. I could not have a whole fleet of these buses. My house would be full. I wouldn't even have room. And that's the main reason I collect 187, because, I mean, the space that this bus would take up, I probably can have 10, 15 of these in that same space for this one bus. But I had this bus custom made because, again, that company was special to me in a special time of my life. So it was custom made for me. Now, the person that made it for me, and a lot of you guys in the bus world, or I should say model bus world, know of him. I hope I don't mess up his name. His name is Louie Plascencia. Oh, man, he's probably going to kill me if you see this. Plascencia, something like that. Louie Plascencia. He's in a lot of the bus groups. A lot of guys know him. He has made custom buses for a lot of people. And he made this bus for me. And the cool part about it is his guys are so good at what they did. They made this paint scheme without even having a picture. I drew out a picture from memory and sent it to him, and he came up with this. And literally, I would say maybe 6 months after I received my bus from him, I actually got in touch with the owner of Mr. Bill's Transit somehow, some way. And he sent me a picture of the actual bus, which you probably will see on the thumbnail of this video. And it just amazes me how Louie and his guys were able to match the decals and the paint scheme so accurately. It actually looks like the actual bus in the picture. It looks like I had that same picture that's in the thumbnail and gave it to Louie, and these guys replicated. No, I actually got the picture after they made the bus, and they just made it based off of the way I explained it. And I even drew a little picture. So shout out to Louie and his guys. I believe he's out there in California. He's done a lot of amazing work in the model bus world. And another fun fact about this bus, it's made out of cardboard. So I mean, is it 100% perfect detail? Of course not. But I mean, to make something completely from scratch out of cardboard is absolutely amazing. Is it as much detail as something like this? No. Or the iconic replicas? No. But I mean, they did an amazing job to me. They made 2 other buses for me, which I might do videos on that later. But right now we focus on this one. And again, I think they did an amazing job. So if you're into bigger buses, 132, get in touch with him. If you look at the thumbnail, you'll see, not the thumbnail, the title. That's his actual name. The actual name. You can DM him, hit him up on Facebook. And again, they do some amazing custom work. And I can show you real quick. The door actually opens on this one. Again, you gotta remember it's cardboard, so it's a little delicate, but still cool. Has a little driver's area in there. Let me move this one out the way. Little drivers in there. Is it 100% accurate the way the real Vanhool is? No, but it gives you that effect that you would need, you know. And it serves its purpose. It serves its purpose. So, this is actually one of my favorite models in my collection. So, I think Louie, I'm not going to say your last name again because I don't want to chop it up. But just showing you guys this bus. This is another one from my collection. So that all of you don't think my whole collection is 187. But again, this is 132 Vanhool. Oh, let me make this another thing clear. Mr. Bill didn't have any 45 footers. This bus was made off of a picture that I found. Like I said, Louie did this bus just based off of me explaining it to him. I did not have the actual pictures and numbers and stuff at the time when he made this bus. So Mr. Bill's whole fleet was 40 footers. 40 footers. So this is a 45 footer because that's the only picture I had. And but even though it's not 100% accurate, let me show you the back. I don't think I showed you guys. Man, this thing, the bus is so long. Let me move the camera back. Give you a quick spin around. As you see, it had a mirror there. I lost it. You guys know how it is. A lot of these models, they're super delicate, especially 187 scale. But I hope that you like this model. Like I said, it's one of my favorites because the bus company was a company my dad actually drove for, and I rode in it. And again, if you like these videos, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. I have a pretty big collection, and I might have it in my collection to let you take a look at it. So, catch you next time.